Hello everyone, this is Glenda and welcome back to Creative Grandma's channel. This video is part 2 of the Country Treasure Afghan. This video we're going to learn how to join our blocks together to form strips and then how to put those strips together to form our Afghan. So let's go ahead and get started. So now since you have all 42 of your blocks made, I'm going to show you how I'm crocheting mine together. Now you can use any method that you prefer, if you rather sew them together with yarn and needle, or if you rather crochet them together. Now I prefer to crochet mine together. So when we put the two blocks together, I want to have my dark blue, there's 2 chains, and we're starting with this first dark blue chain. So when you look at this corner, you're going to see here is the light blue and here is the dark blue. So we want to make sure we're matching those colors on our block. So right now I have them right up against each other. The right sides are facing, one block on the left, one block on the right. And when you come down to this bottom corner, my first chain is going to be this dark blue, and the first chain over here will be the dark blue. So I'm going to take the block on the right and just turn it upside down on top of the other block. And excuse my ends, I did not weave them in yet. So then I put my hook right into that corner, and you're just going to swing your block around, and then we're going to crochet across this side of the block. So I always put my crochet hook in the corner I'm going to start with, because I swing the block around and then I want to make sure I didn't grab it by the wrong spot. So again, when you look at the corner, you're going to see the first chain is dark blue, and the one behind it, the matching coordinating stitch, is dark blue as well. So I already have my yarn attached to my hook, and I just used a double knot. So I'm going to join in the same way that I always do. I'm going to insert my hook into that first dark blue chain in the top block, and then also in the block below. We're matching those stitches. We're going to slip stitch through that stitch and through the loop on the hook. You're going to chain 1, and you're going to single crochet back into that same stitch, and you're working through both of the blocks at the same time. So now we did our first stitch, and now we're going to work across the block. So we're going to chain 1. You're going to skip the blue loops here in the corner, those chains, and we're going to be working into the dark blue loops. You're going to work in this top front loop of the top block, and then when you look at the block below, you're going to have 2 loops. You want to go into that back loop. And this just helps open the block up and let it lay really nice and flat. Work a single crochet. And we're just going to repeat that across the block. Chain 1, you're going to skip the blue loop, insert into the next dark blue loop, and you're just going into the front loop only. And then when you look at the block below, you're going to go into the back loop only. Work a single crochet. And that is the end of the repeat. So let's do it across our block. Chain 1, skip the blue loop, insert into the front loop of the top block of that dark blue loop, and then on the bottom block, again, you're going to go into the back loop only, work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip the blue loop, insert into the front loop of that next dark blue stitch, and then insert into the back loop of the dark blue stitch in the block below, and single crochet. So now I'm just going to go ahead and work across. I explained where you put your stitches. So go ahead and chain 1, skip the blue loop, insert into the dark blue loops, work a single crochet. Chain 1, skip the blue loops, insert into the dark blue loops, work a single crochet. And I'm just going to go ahead and work right across with you. Chain 1, skip the light blue, insert into the dark blue loops, work a single crochet. and we're going to work all the way across to the corner. And sometimes just pull your work, make sure your stitches are lined up. So this one's a little smaller, so here's my blue, and then I gotta pull this to see that blue stitch. Insert into the blue stitch below, work a single crochet. So now I'm over to my corner and I have my light blue chain and my dark blue chain, and sometimes these corners are a little confusing because of the stitches. Skip that light blue chain and then insert into that dark blue chain. And then match it to the dark blue chain in the corner of the bottom block and single crochet. And that is how we crochet our block together. So let me go ahead and fasten off my blue. And then when you open up your block, you can see how pretty that lays. It just opens the block up. And chaining one in between the stitch just keeps it so it doesn't get real bulky. It keeps that nice look to the design. So now to continue, our Afghan will be 6 blocks across. So you're going to click back on the video, you're going to take your next block, and you're going to follow the instructions exactly as I did for this block. You want to take your block and you want to look at your corners. Let me zoom up. So when you look at your blocks, make sure again that that first chain is dark blue, and then when you look over here, that first chain is dark blue. You're going to have your blocks right side facing, and then you're going to take the block on the right, you're going to flip it on top of the block on the left, put your hook down into that corner, because this is where you're going to start, and you want to crochet up this side, and then I just swing my block around to where I'm going to start, and then you're going to join your yarn into that first dark blue chain of the corner, and then repeat what I showed you when you did your first blocks. And you're just going to keep repeating in that manner until you get your 6 blocks attached to form your rows. Now my table isn't big enough to get all 6 blocks, but once you get this block sewed on, then you're going to grab your next block, you're going to put it right up against the ones you already attached, and continue until you have 6 blocks across, and then that is your first row. So go ahead and attach 6 blocks until you get your row made. I'm back. I have my first strip put together, and we put our strip together 1 block by 6 blocks across. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 blocks in each strip. So you're going to go ahead and repeat the process until you get all your strips put together, and when you're done, you'll have a total of 7 strips. So go ahead and put all your strips together, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how to join your strips. So I have all my strips put together. I have a total of 7 strips, and now we're going to put our strips together. So we're kind of working in the same manner. We're just going to start in a different position, and then we have to do these stitches here where we joined our blocks. So what you're going to do is lay your first strip down in front of you, and you want the right side facing. So when you turn your strip over, the wrong side will have this subtle edge of where you crocheted those blocks together. That's the wrong side, so flip it over so the right side is facing. You're going to put your next strip right above the strip below, and you're going to repeat this process for all your strips until you got your Afghan put together. So if you need help, this is where you're going to click back on the video and repeat for all your strips until you get all 7 strips joined together. So first strip, right side facing, second strip, right side facing, right above, and then we're just going to flip the top strip right over on top of the bottom strip. So now you have the right sides together facing on the inside, and you have the wrong side facing on that top strip. So I already have my Stonewash blue, that darker blue, attached to my hook, and I just used a double knot. You can use whichever method you prefer to join your yarn. So our strips are on top of each other like I just showed you. This will be the wrong side facing of this top strip. We're going to go up to the corner. So now I'm going to go ahead and join my dark blue, and we're going to do this in the same manner as before, matching our dark blue stitches across as we work. Now, joining our strips, the first chain of the corner is light blue, so we're going to start into the second chain. We're going to insert into that dark blue chain and then match it to the dark blue chain below in the bottom block, and then slip stitch through those stitches and through the loop on my hook. We're going to chain one and then single crochet back into that same space. So now we're going to work in the same manner that we worked as we crocheted our blocks together, and we're going to do that across to the joining seam. You're going to chain one. Now we're going to skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the front loop only of the next dark blue stitch of the top block, and then insert into the back loop of the matching stitch below, work a single crochet. So let's do it a couple times together. Chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the front loop of the dark blue stitch, and then match it to the back loop of the stitch below, work a single crochet. Let's do it again. Chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the front loop of the next dark blue stitch, match it up to the back loop of the stitch below, work a single crochet. Chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the front loop of the next dark blue stitch, match it to the stitch below and insert into the back loop, work a single crochet. So go ahead and repeat that across until you get to your joining seam, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at my joining seam, and when you get across to where your joining seam is, you're going to have that light blue stitch, and we're going to skip that stitch. So you ended with a single crochet. We're going to chain one. You're going to come over to where you see the dark blue loop right on each side of that joining seam. You're going to insert right here on the right hand side, match it to the right hand side dark blue loop below, work a single crochet. Now we're going to work a single crochet on the left hand side of that joining stitch, insert underneath that next dark blue loop on the left side of that joining seam, insert into the matching loop below, work a single crochet. And now we're going to start up our repeat. We're going to chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the next dark blue into the top front loop only, and then match it to the back loop below, work a single crochet. Let's do it again. Chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the top front loop of the next dark blue stitch, and then insert into the back loop of the matching stitch below, work a single crochet. Let's do it one more time. Chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, insert into the front top loop of the dark blue stitch, and then match it to the back loop of the matching stitch below, work a single crochet. So go ahead and chain one, skip the next light blue stitch, and single crochet into the top front loop and then the back loop of the next dark blue stitches. Repeat that across to your next joining seam, and I'll meet you there. I'm over at my next joining seam. Here it is. You can see it's raised a little bit. We ended with a single crochet into the dark blue stitch, and then we have another light blue stitch, and then we have two dark blue loops, one on the right hand side of the joining seam and one on the left hand side. So once you get over to the joining seam, you're going to chain one. You're going to skip that light blue stitch, insert under the right hand side loop of that joining seam, match it to the loop on the right hand side below, work a single crochet. Insert into the loop on the left hand side of the joining stitch, Match it to the loop on the left hand side of the strip below, work a single crochet. And that is how you do your joining seam. And then you're just going to begin again by chaining 1. You're going to skip that next light blue stitch, insert into the front loop of the next dark blue stitch, match it to the back loop of the matching stitch below, and work a single crochet. So you're just going to continue that across until you get to the very end of your strip, and I'll meet you there. If you need help, just click back on the video, start where I did the 2 single crochet in the joining seam, and then repeat the pattern across to the next joining seam, and repeat that across to the end of the strip, and I'll meet you there. So I'm over to the end of the strip. Here is our corner. So what we're going to do is we ended with a single crochet into that last dark blue stitch. We have 1 light blue stitch remaining, and then our corner. You're going to chain 1. You're going to skip that next light blue stitch, and then we're going to finish by inserting into that dark blue chain of the corner, insert into the matching chain below, work a single crochet. I'm going to fasten off my work, and again I like to leave a longer length so I can really secure my ends in with my yarn needle. So fasten off your work, and then let me zoom out and I'll show you how your strip should look. So then when you open up your strip, this is what it's going to look like. You can see our blue matching those blue stitches as we crocheted those strips together. So that is how you put your strips together. So now you're just going to click back on the video and you're going to start again. You're going to grab your next strip, and again the wrong side has that subtle edge where you joined your stitch together. So make sure it's right side facing. Place it above the rows that you already have finished. So all your pieces are right side facing, and then you're just going to take that top strip and flip it over onto the strip below, and then this will now be wrong side facing. And then we're going to go up to the top right hand corner. We're going to join our dark blue or the Stonewash blue up into this top right hand corner. So this is where we're doing exactly what we did in the strip below. We're going into this second chain. So the light blue is the first chain of the corner, and then this dark blue will be the second chain. So insert into that dark blue chain of the corner, match it to the dark blue chain in the corner below, in that strip below, and then we're going to slip stitch through that corner chain and through the loop on our hook. And we just joined our yarn. You're going to chain 1, single crochet back into that same beginning chain of the corner, and again we're working through both thicknesses and you're matching the dark blue stitches across. So go ahead and continue joining your strips together. If you need help, click back on the video. You're going to continue in this manner until you get all 7 strips together. I'm back. I put all my strips together. I have 7 strips, and my strips are 6 blocks across, and you're going to have 7 blocks down. That's the end of part 2 of the Country Treasure Afghan. Today we learned how to join those blocks together into strips, and then we learned how to take those strips and turn them into an Afghan. So make sure you come back for part 3, and we'll finish this Afghan by putting the border around the outside of the Afghan. Thank you everybody so much for stopping by today and crocheting with me. I hope you enjoy working on the Country Treasure Afghan. So until next time, stay inspired and happy crocheting, everyone.